Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this Friday night. I'm doing all right. Uh, I won't complain, even though I could. I'm not gonna complain. As everybody knows, there's not a lot going on in the Summer Wells case right now, and I think a lot of creators are just tired because it's been a long 10 months, almost 11 months, and a lot of people are just weary of waiting, weary of wanting to see some kind of justice, wanting to find Summer Wells. If you're new here, my name's Patty, and I like to talk about missing children crime, missing people crime, and persons cases. So, welcome to my channel. Thank you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And I just thank you for being here tonight. So, there's one thing that I heard that I watched tonight on video, and I'm just going to show you the creator. I'm not going to play you the video, but I'm going to show you the creator because she just put this out. And her name is Crime Time Buzz. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to this lady. This video right here, she put out, I believe it was today. And she has some kind of inside information that she found out about some indictments being handed down. I'm not sure if she's I think she said she was an attorney or something. I don't remember. But anyways, I really recommend you go over to this channel and listen what she has to say about grand jury indictments. She did say that a few of them have been passed out in the county there, in Hawkins County. And they just started passing them out. So not to be upset or worked up about it, because, they might not have gotten to Candace yet. So anyways, she's going to keep everyone updated on this. But, they're very secretive. But she did have info on other ones that were being handed out. So I recommend that you follow her. So in case she does have any updates. But she also has a really great channel. And I like listening to her because she's straight to the point. She don't get into a whole bunch of drama. And, he said, she said, I'm going to beat this person up or I'm going to beat that person up, okay? So, anyways, I recommend that you go to that channel. Also, I'm just going to come over here for a minute. I want to show you this. If I can get it to go. Oh, because I'm not on it. This is called Cracking Cases. What we were told as to why the boys were removed and more. And so I just want to talk about this for a few minutes with all of you. Sorry, but I don't recommend that you go to his channel and subscribe. He is very misleading. I guess him and his wife have been on a search for Summer Wells, but the thing is, people have talked about his drug use on YouTube, and also sometimes it does seem like he's intoxicated. And also, in this video that he just did yesterday, I think it was, that video I just named for you, Cam at Cracking Cases, he's trying to tell us the reason why The boys were removed from the house, but this was information that he got from Don and Candace, the reason. And of course, Don and Candace told him it was because of safety reasons, They couldn't have him at the house, blah, 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 because of Summer going missing. Well, let me tell you right now, Cam, the thing is that CPS, Child Protective Services, does not take your children because one of them went missing, okay? They had a very good reason to take them boys out of the house. And now Cam wants to say that there was no bruises on Summer, that everybody just doctored those pictures and made her look like she had bruises and made her look like, she had bruise under that dirt. Well, Cam, the only one who doctored pictures was Candace, Tim Mullins, and A.F. Pennington, your friend. And those are the only people that doctored photos. People got your original ones, Candace, and we put them up. And so, Cam at Cracking Cases, I'm sorry, you're full of it. You need to look at other people that have messed with those pictures. How you going to make a bruise on someone, I don't really know. You're going to just scribble dirt on there. I don't know how you make that happen when you're doing editing. But I do know that Candace and her friends put lipstick on Summer, and they photo touched all those pictures. And if you go look at Candace's channel, where she shows pictures of the kids, she's pretty good at putting those videos together, like I told you before. There's gossip that Hunter's going to get married. I don't know how much of that's true. I'm not going to even care because you know what? Hunter's personal life is none of my business. Okay? If he's old enough to get married and his parents, that's his personal life. I could care less what he does. Unless he had something to do with Summer going missing. And I have a hard time believing he did. We never know, do we? Okay, so I just wanted to say something about Cracking Cases mainly. That, to start out with, that, okay, he is very sneaky and manipulative. He'll say, oh, don't call me a Wells defender. In the next minute, he'll say, like, all these bad people on YouTube, played with those pictures and Summer didn't have no bruises and blah, blah, blah. He's always doing that. But you know what Cam does? He will not point a finger at Don and Candace Wells, even though in this video he says that Don Wells was doing cocaine and crack and Candace was drinking every day. And the house was wrecked. And so they've had the boys taken away from them. And Don's been accused of SA, but these Cam and his wife or whatever, they will not look at Don and Candace, but they'll point at everybody else and they'll dox everybody else. So I do not recommend that you follow his channel because he is misleading people and he is telling people that none of this stuff's gone on and we know better. I'm sorry, I know better. So I was going over some, I was looking up something, I don't remember what it was, but I went over some old posts on Facebook, TBI, because I really wanted to know, because everybody's been saying that Summer was outside, right? That she was last seen on Beach Creek Road, and people are trying to prove this. And I've even had people fight with me on comments because, here's the thing. Don and Candace said Summer never went out of the house. They also said that she was in the basement, that she was in the house when she went missing. And so either Candace, Don, and Grandma have the whole story mixed up, or somebody told the wrong thing to the police. You know, could it be that Jody Sue or one of the family members said that? I don't know. Because they never ever showed Summer on any camera. They have never shown her being on that road unless somebody just said that and thought they seen her. I don't know. But I'd like to know how they could see her, and I don't believe they seen her. So, and I think that's just a mix up from the police. I believe that TBI got the information early on from people that, like Jody Sue. Okay? So, anyways, they have not cleared it up either way. And I did ask her to clear it up. So, while I was um on these old Facebook posts, I noticed a couple comments. I was just reading through a couple comments. And I seen this one comment, and this was like a week, maybe 2 weeks. I think it was only a week after Summer went missing. And this lady, now I wish I would have wrote down her name, but I didn't, but I could go back if I had to find it. But this lady said, I had to write it down because it's on my phone and I wouldn't be able to tell you if I didn't. But anyways, this lady said, I thought I was crazy earlier today because there was a little girl that looked identical to Summer Wells that ran into my 5-year-old at Splash Country. I wasn't, or I think that's what it's called. I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything because it seemed crazy to me, even to me, that the thought of seeing Summer crossed my mind. Then, as I went through the intel people were giving out, so and so got the TikTok account of the mother. And as I was going through the pictures and videos, I realized it was only 6 days ago that a picture of Summer and her siblings was taken in front of the Hatfield and McCoy truck. I wonder if I actually saw her today, and I'm also wondering if Summer's family has relatives around Knoxville or Gatlinburg or friends. So isn't that an interesting? I don't know if the TBI ever looked into her, what she thought. I don't know if she ever turned it in, because it sounds to me like she thought she was being silly by thinking that. But the thing is, I want you to think about this for a minute. You know, when Summer went missing, like just a couple weeks after Summer went missing, Don took off. I believe it was to Knoxville. And he said he, got all upset and he went off the wagon and he was drinking and he was gone drinking. Well, I don't think that's what he was doing. I think that he was doing something else, getting rid of maybe Summer. But anyways, somebody else, another witness, swore that they seen Don that day, the 15th, or the day before or something, at a fair, at a carnival, and he denied it adamantly. And it's weird to me that Hunter mentioned that they were going to take Summer to Wetlands Water Park, and I think that's over in Knoxville. I'm not sure. But anyways, I do think that's where it is. But anyways, I thought that was very interesting. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It really does. And And then let me read you this one that I thought was quite interesting. It was on the same day. This person said, "This poor child is my husband's cousin. Her dad, Don, has been estranged from the family for so many years for the type of person he is. We didn't even know Summer was missing until the news. He has many ties to so many states. If she isn't at the house, she could be anywhere." So his very own relatives think that he took her somewhere. And he has ties to a lot of states, and he could have took her out of here. And, I've been saying it all along that I believe that something happened and Candace met Don, or Don took her out of there. And, you know, I want to say this, you know, Michael Vaughn, Monkey Vaughn, his mother, a lot of people have been putting videos out and, of her and how she talks to her children, very abusive. But, you know, nobody's seen that child on camera. But yet she claimed they did, but nobody did. And I don't think either of them passed their lie detector tests. And they both been read their Miranda rights. But what I find strange is that a lot of people, at first, I was focusing on Tyler, but now I'm not so sure because Brandy doesn't sound like a very good mom, in my opinion. Sorry, it's just my opinion. With her swearing and saying she wants to strangle her child and she's going to beat him or whatever. And that's horrible. And the thing of it is that Brandy could have took Monkey Michael Vaughn out of that house the day before. She could have took him, I don't know the whole timeline, but she could have took him out that day when she said she left for work. She could have took him in that car. Something could have happened to him, an accident of abuse. I don't know. These are just my opinions. These people, Candace and Don and Brandy, and Michael Vaughn's mom and dad, they're all innocent until proven guilty. But in my opinion, they are very suspicious. So anyways, I do think that Don and Candace probably took Summer out of there. Now, I wanted to show you something. There was something else here. Oh, yes. So, I want to show you something in these pictures. And I need you to tell me what you think about them. And, let's just talk about it. And I want to hear, or, if there's a place, if my comments aren't shut off, hopefully you'll comment to me and tell me what you think. But anyways, hold on here. I'm going to get you to the part that I want you to see. And this is under fair use. This is Candace Bly's video of her children. And this is off her channel. And I'm just showing you a small clip. And I'm going to start it right there. Okay, I want you to look at Summer's face, okay? It's strange that she's not smiling and she looks tired, okay? So let's just keep playing it, though. There, she's happy. But look at her. None of them look happy. But she don't, but watch. Look. She looks tired, you guys. She looks tired to me. Like, for some reason, she's tired. So, and that was only 6 days, you guys. 6 days they were at that Wonderworks in Gatlinburg or whatever on vacation, supposedly. 6 days before Summer went missing. That's really weird to me. I'm sorry. And it's strange that she's got the same outfit on. I mean, she's got the shorts and she's got the bathing suit. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but I just play a couple of them here. Hold on. Go back to that. Okay. She's got gray shorts and the same bathing suit top she had on when she went swimming. And so it's just really strange, but not really, because I guess, I wear the same bathing suit. I only have one. And so that's not strange, but I don't know. It just reminds me of the same time that other video was taken. So it just makes me wonder. I'm not saying that she wasn't around that day, because people are saying that Chris McDonough proved it and different people proved it. That, so I don't know everyone, but I just think it's strange that all the pictures, but she looked really tired when she was at this vacation. So did the boys. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Candace Bly has some nice videos of Summer, and one of them, the song, she made me cry. I feel so bad for Summer Wells, that she's just a sweetheart, and I can't imagine what happened to her, and I don't really want to even imagine what happened to her, you know what I mean? Because it could be terrible. I'm sorry, I gotta just put you down for 1 second. I have to get a drink. Forgive me, but my throat's really super dry tonight. So, anyways, I just don't know. There's so many strange things in this case, right? Let's hope and pray that the grand jury has listed one of these parents and that we'll see something quickly. So, in my last video, I talked about human trafficking, child abuse, child trafficking, and how real it is, how easy that it seems to be for these traffickers to talk these kids into things. Like, they use other little kids to lure children. And most of the time, it's a family member that gets children started in this. And it's very sad. And I guess it's like the second most biggest lucrative business in our country or around the world, human trafficking. And that is so sickening to me. I don't understand why perverts can't control themselves. I don't understand why grown men are attracted to little tiny children. I can't comprehend this in my mind. And so, no, I don't understand it. I think it's sick. All for someone to fulfill their, what, 10-minute lust for a man to relieve himself, but traumatize a child for years. I mean, I don't understand. And okay, so I am in no way saying that Summer Wells was sexually abused. But there's a lot of telltale signs. Number one being that Don sexually molested his sister at 5 years old. That's when it started, and it continued on. And I have heard that that was part of the CPS case, that there was some kind of sexual allegations, and that Candace was involved with Hunter in a relationship and was carrying on in front of the kids. That's one of the things, and that they were abusive to those kids. I don't know how Cam from Cracking Cases could think that Don couldn't be abusive when everybody said that they were, him and Candace. If he's doing crack and cocaine and you know this, Cam, well, then you know that the way they were living and the way he was abusive to his wife, you had to figure that some kind of child abuse was going on in that house. So people need to stop being in denial. And it really bothers me, everybody, when people are in denial about sexual child abuse. When they don't believe people, when they don't believe children, and when the state fails them and people neglect to even care or call the system and and talk about this and get help for these children. What really ticks me off? Why I don't care about one single of these people that are in the Summer Wells case? I don't care about any of them because none of them did anything to save that little girl. And, the way Candace brought in men into her home makes me wonder if she was allowing other people to sleep with her daughter. People like Jose, a lot of men, and they'll be so sweet acting, but there's a lot of predators, I'm sorry, and Candace really exposed her children to a lot of people that could have been. And, it's very, very sad. And I hope we find out something soon, but I wanted to show you this lady just a little bit and talk about her video here. So you can see how young this starts. And like I told you in my last video, it's strange, right? How most of these children were very little when the grooming started, when the sexual abuse started. Some of them were babies, some of them were 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I'm just saying there are a lot of similarities, with Don's sister Jeannie when he started molesting her. And so this lady's name is Carol Knuth. She's a survivor of domestic abuse. Of child sexual abuse and trafficking. She's a survivor. She went through a lot. And her story is amazing. I can't even explain it enough. But She, uh, we're going to watch it, part of it, and talk about it. But I would recommend that you go to this channel named Shane Reinhardt, if you can remember. And I'll come up here and show you. Okay, human trafficking survivor, Carol Knuth's story. But, you know, I'm not going to take this lady's video, but I'm going to show you part of it. And I'm going to talk about, I'm going to stop it here and there, so don't get upset. But I'm going to stop it here and there because I need to discuss a couple things. And so, if you're a victim of human trafficking, if you're a victim of child sexual abuse or child sexual ritual abuse, there are people that you can contact. And please do not remain silent. Get out, find a way, get help, even if it feels like nobody believes you. You know, there are many who do believe you. So fight and get out of it and look on some of these survival channels, you know, of different stories of survivors, because you'll find groups that will help you in your journey. So, and I pray for all these children all the time, everywhere. So, anyways, I'm gonna have to turn this up. I'm sorry. And I'll come up here so you can see and hear better.
My name is Carol Knuth, and I am a survivor of human trafficking. I was a 15-year-old foster kid when I had my first encounter with a human trafficker. At the time, I didn't know that that was what he was. It would be many years later before I had a full understanding of what had happened to me. I was a very little girl when the grooming process began for me to be a victim of human trafficking. My earliest memories are of sexual abuse. My dad and several other members of the family sexually abused me. And to me, the human traffickers were just people like my dad. I was the youngest of three little girls. My parents were divorced when I was 2. I was told that my mom had died and I was given to my dad, but that wasn't true. My dad had said that my mom died, but she hadn't. She had abandoned us. My dad did eventually marry again and had children, more children. In addition to the sexual assault and the child sexual abuse at the hands of my dad, I was physically beaten. At one point, I almost died as a result of child abuse. My right side of my face was paralyzed, and I suffered from hearing impairment. I am hearing impaired. So eventually, not only was I a foster kid, but I was a foster kid with a disability. When I was 3, after I had almost died, my dad gave my sisters and I to a foster home. And this was a wonderful home with a single lady. She was older. And I think at this home, I was getting something I would really need in the next few years to help me survive. This woman took us to church, and she taught us about God, and she told me that God was always with me, and that he had a purpose for my life. I only lived there for just a few months, and I was around 3 years old. But I really think that that made a big difference. I was going to need that information. I was going to need that faith and that hope. Throughout the years, many people knew what was happening in our home, many people in our family and the town. There were multiple people over several years that were told that our dad was sexually abusing us and physically beating me. Teachers, relatives, parents of friends. I remember I would wake up at night and I would have my sheet over my.
I just want to say something to make a comment right there. It really bothers me that all these people witness these things, witness the abuse, see it, and say nothing. And that is worse than anything at all. It makes me really angry because if you see something, you should say something. These poor kids, my God. And look at her, she's 3 years old and she's already went through a hell of a ordeal with her dad, okay?
My face hiding. I would be terrified and I would be sweating, waiting for the sound of footsteps to come into my bedroom that I shared with my sisters. My dad didn't care who was in a room when he sexually assaulted and raped. He used manipulation to gain people's silence. He would share with people that if they told, he'd go to jail. And if the manipulation did not work, he would use threats of violence. He would threaten their physical.
And I just want to mention something right here. Don's sister Jeannie, when Don molested Jeannie, he said to her that if she told anyone, he would die. And she didn't want him to die. And so she was just a little girl. And, think of that. That is so scary. And so, when you're a little girl, you can be manipulated, a little child. So, yeah, that's terrible.
Well-being. This went on for several years. And when I was in 6th grade, my stepmom divorced my dad, and we were left with him for several more years. I can still remember when I was a child.
I gotta turn this up.
Fighting. My dad would pin me down and he would fight. He was basically trying to fight and pick him off of me. I think it's just a primal thing where you fight. And there were some times, well, of course, I think it really depended on his day, if that struggle had any impact, if he got up and walked away or if he didn't. But that fight, that spirit of fighting was so important to me. I think that the reality that so many people knew about what was happening in my home and they didn't do anything about it for years had a tremendous impact on me. I think that not only the act of being sexually abused and physically abused and beaten in that way, the reality that so many people knew about it and allowed it to happen, it was part of a grooming process for me. It made me feel as if I had no value and no worth. Children are raised, foundations are built by adults, just as a foundation was built for me by the adults in my life. The foundation that I had built for me was that I had no value, that no matter what an adult did to me, whether they chose to sexually assault me, rape me, or beat me almost to death, that was my foundation. I had no value, I had no worth. It was part of a grooming process for what was to come. I was in 8th grade when a crisis center counselor was told about the rapes. And about 2 weeks after that, my dad drove to the crisis center and spoke to the same counselor, and he confessed to rape. And he was placed into a psychiatric facility for a few weeks. My sisters and I were removed from the home, and we were separated, placed in foster care. And I remember being in 8th grade, and 2 police officers, uniformed police officers, they served me with a summons to appear in court. And you see on police shows people being served summons. These people were in uniform, and it was I still remember the thoughts that I had at the time. I was a bookworm. I read a lot, and so I read a lot of Nancy Drew. That was where I was mentally in 8th grade. I wasn't boy crazy or anything. So I had these police officers serve me, a kid, with this summons just like in a book. I wasn't an adult receiving a summons to appear in court. I was just a kid. And one February afternoon, when I was still in 8th grade, I remember standing in court. We had our day in court. The judge had received information about the confession from my dad. He had the discovery notes in front of him. And I stood in court standing next to my two older sisters. We were standing in front of the judge, my dad, the attorneys guarding ad litem, my aunt, and my grandmother. And we were there for the judge to determine what would happen to my dad that day. And as I stood there, after all those years of being silenced and being taught that I didn't care, all of these things did not matter. That day, I knew I was safe. I knew I didn't have to keep these secrets anymore because we were in a courtroom. I knew I was going to be safe, and I knew that my dad was going to jail for what he had done. I knew as an 8th grader, I knew what was right and wrong. But it didn't happen that way. Although my dad did confess, he went home that day. The judge allowed him to go home. I was shocked. I knew when I left that courtroom, I knew he was going home, and I was shocked, and I was so angry. And it was another situation where that part of my foundation was created. It solidified for me that it didn't matter what sexual predators did, people who raped children, assaulted them, it didn't matter. I didn't matter. That was what I was taught. He went home that day, and I went to another foster home. And when I was a foster kid, I was in over 21 homes. My two sisters and I eventually were placed in a home together. It was 2 hours from that county.
Okay, so that's all I'm gonna share with that. But I'm gonna tell you that this poor girl, it's like either she had the worst luck in the world that so many bad things could happen to her. But as I listened to it, I didn't even realize. It's just like there are predators everywhere. I mean, this poor girl, her whole life. And this video is really good. And she goes on to talk about how her friends, she ran away from the foster home, and her one friend tricked her and got her to go with her for a ride, and she was drugged, and that's how Carol ended up getting trafficked. And it's really unbelievable everything she had to go through, and how nobody listened to her, and how the system fails these kids all the time. And it really bothers me. I mean, they need to make big changes in our system, in the foster care system, and child protective system, because these children are being failed, and they're being abused, and they're being hurt, and nobody's doing much about it. I mean, I know. You hear stories all the time. I have friends, I see people all the time who have tried to call protective services or tried to get them to listen, and they do not listen very well, and they do not do much about child abuse as far as I'm concerned. Not very often. But when this was back, quite a while ago, years ago, and, that, like I said, they didn't really pay that much attention to pedophilia or sex trafficking or anything like that. It wasn't talked about. And so probably the judge didn't even know what to do with the guy, but he should have. When he heard that the guy raped his own children, he should have known better. So, it could have been possible that the judge was doing the same kind of thing to other children. So it's very sad. The whole point that I wanted you to see, I wanted you to realize, because some people do not realize that little 2-year olds, 3-year olds, 5-year olds are being abused all the time. And this is more normal, and it's sickening that it's more normal than you think. And it's sad because it never ever should be normal, and it should never even be going on. And I think this is just my personal opinion that just like you castrate dogs and cats so that they don't have the urge, you need to castrate men who violently sexually abuse children. Seriously, because it's horrific, and I think they need to change the laws. But anyways, I'm really hoping we hear something from a grand jury in the Summer Wells case. Like I said, there's not a lot going on, just a lot of drama between creators fighting. It felt like the worldwide wrestling. You see I can't watch. I watch for a few minutes and then I gotta turn it off because it's so much drama. But anyways, that's all I have for you tonight. I hope you have a great weekend. And I hope you think about these things. And I hope, after all these cases with these children, missing children, children being abused, children being killed by their parents, children being sexually abused, we need to bring awareness and fight for these children and be the voice because no one else will be. And I'm glad this lady is telling her story and speaking out because it brings awareness. And the more people know, the more can be done, more can be noticed, and the more can be, brought to the light. So, anyways, I hope you all have a good weekend and keep praying for Summer Wells that they will find her, and Michael Vaughn, and Susan Morphew, and Maya Malete, all these children and all these people. So, have a good one. Have a good weekend. God bless you. I love everybody. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you for watching and caring. Take it easy.